We are 5 days away from Mercedes Moné's first match in over a year. 5 days away from Christian Cage possibly becoming world champion again. And 5 days away from another AEW pay-per-view. That means tonight it's AEW Double or Nothing Go Home edition of Dynamite. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling here to preview tonight's show for the 22nd of May 2024. It is the AEW Double or Nothing Go Home show. And yes, in 5 days' time, we get the big return to the ring of Mercedes Moné. She's not done much since coming to AEW. Her first appearance, her debut, did generate a little bit of hype, but since then, it has been downhill. In terms of Swerve Strickland's title reign, it's also been downhill. He's in a feud with Christian. Not much happening. I like Christian, but nobody believes at this point in his career that he's going to become a world champion. I just don't see it happening. And then we have a bunch of other matches that not many people are interested in. The Elite and FTR. Jesus Christ, does anybody care about that? An injured Darby Allin who's still recovering from getting cracked by a bus. I mean, does anybody want to see that match? Probably not, but that is what we're getting. Daniel Bryan's neck hanging on by a thread, but screw it. The ratings are down. Tony Khan is spiraling out of control, so he needs to put Bryan Danielson in a big match. So tonight, AEW is in the Mechanics Banks Arena in Bakersfield, California. So we're in Cali tonight for this go-home edition. Obviously, there is Rampage as well, and we have Collision left before we get to the pay-per-view. Big week of wrestling, because we also have the Saudi Arabia show, King and Queen of the Ring. So, lots of wrestling content. If you enjoy wrestling, it's a good week for you. Unfortunately, wrestling in 2024 sucks. It's just a shame we never had all this amount of wrestling when wrestling was good. I know back in the late 90s we had WCW, WWF and ECW, but it just feels like there's a lot more shows around these days. Yes, late 90s, 99, you got SmackDown coming out, and then you also had Thunder as well, but it just feels like wrestling now. There's so much wrestling on compared to other periods, but, I mean, whatever. Let's see what tonight has in store for us. So, Nick Wayne takes on Swerve Strickland. Who cares? Nick Wayne. Like I say, this guy is a bum. He's walking around with his mum. That tells you all you need to know. How can this guy be taken serious when he's walking around with his fucking mum? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't remember Stone Cold Steve Austin getting over. I don't remember Austin's mum walking down with him to the ring when Austin was going to beat up McMahon. I just don't recall that. But yeah, Nick Wayne versus Swerve Strickland. I think Christian would be better off on his own. Like, I'm not saying he can't make a faction work. Of course he can. You know, he was part of one of the greatest tag teams of all time. He had another great tag team with Jericho. You can't forget about Christian's Collision in TNA with AJ and Tomko. I mean, Christian has always worked well with others, but I mean, he's better than Nick Wayne, Nick Wayne's mom, and some big guy in a dinosaur mask. Christian is so much better than that. Anyway, Swerve Strickland will win this match, and Swerve Strickland, unfortunately, will beat Christian, I guess, at the pay-per-view. Bryan Danielson versus Satnam Singh. I can't believe this is... I don't know why this is happening. It just seems so fucking random. Like, why? Out of nowhere is Bryan Danielson taking on Satnam Singh? I mean, on what planet does this make sense? This Satnam Singh guy can barely fucking move. The only match this guy should have had was against Big Show. Once him and Big Show face each other, there's just like no point. You know, it's finished, it's over, it's done. It's needless. But for some reason this is happening. Is this just to give Bryan Danielson a win over somebody tall before the paper? I don't know. It's just so fucking random. Satnam Singh never wrestles, then all of a sudden he's taking on Bryan Daniel tonight. I don't get it. I'm going to go with a Danielson win, but I'm expecting some form of shenanigans here. Take a Shitta versus Matt Sydal. Who's going to win? Honestly, do not fucking care. I'll go with Take a Shitta because I think he's higher up in the card right now, but just another throwaway match that we don't need to see. Kyle O'Reilly versus Malachi Black. I'm going to go with Malachi Black to win this one since he is taking on Edge. If he needs to build a little bit of momentum, Again, just another match that nobody cares about. Toni Storm and Maria May taking on Saraya and Harley Cameron. I'll go with Toni Storm and Mariah May because fuck Saraya. She's a jobber. She sucks. And then we have Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy taking on Trent Barretta and Roderick Strong. So we know who's going to win that one. Orange Cassidy never loses. It's so fucking annoying. I actually don't understand. Like, why does Orange Cassidy get this Hulk Hogan treatment? He gets like the John Cena, the unbeatable John Cena treatment where he wins every single match. I just don't get it. It's Orange fucking Cassidy. He sucks. He's like 140 pounds. Horrible gimmick. Hands in his pockets. And he beats all these dudes that should be killing him in a legitimate fight. I just don't get it. I don't get the hype with Orange Cassidy. I can look past some people that I really cannot stand. Like Darby Allin. I do not like Darby Allin, but I can see why people would like Darby Allin. I just don't see anything in Orange Cassidy. I really fucking don't. At least Darby Allin's got that kind of style where he's literally willing to die in the ring. He's willing to risk it all to win, and you can kind of believe it. You can kind of have some sort of believability when, what's his name? That's how good he is. Darby Allin, yes. When Darby Allin wins, you can sort of believe it. But every time Orange Cassidy wins with that orange punch after wrestling half-assed for 50% of the match with his hands in his pockets, you talk about just fake. You talk about non-believability. And that sums up Orange Cassidy in a nutshell. Anyway, Ospreay and Cassidy will win, unfortunately. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Ospreay, I don't think, is lost yet. And we know Orange Cassidy never loses, so that's going to happen. Scheduled for tonight's show also, Freeway FTW Championship Eliminator with Hook, Brian Keefe, and Shibata, with Chris Jericho on commentary. I mean, it's obvious who's going to win this. Fucking Hook. Obviously, Hook's going to take on Jericho. Just another match. These matches are so predictable. They are. I mean, I couldn't remember the last time I looked at an AEW match on Dynamite and thought, wow, that's 50-50. I mean, every match is so predictable. We also have an in-depth preview of Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné for the TBS Women's Championship. Like I said, this will be Mercedes Moné's first match in over a year. I think she's going to beat Willow Nightingale. I mean, it would be dumb if she's the highest paid woman, of all time, and she comes in just to job it to this fatty, this Teletubby lookalike fatty. That would make no sense. So I've got to assume that Mercedes Moné is going to take that at the pay-per-view. And we also have appearances from Jon Moxley and Bullet Club Gold. So we'll see what Bullet Club Gold are up to. Does anybody care? Probably not. Does Jon Moxley have a match at the pay-per-view? Honestly, I can't remember. I don't think he does. He might, but I can't remember because he's not been booked that well. Anyway, guys, that is it. That's your preview. I'd love to sit here and say it looks good. Honestly, though, it does not. And as always, it will be interesting to see how the ratings go. Like I said, final show before Double or Nothing. Can they get an increase? Can they get a spike? Or will we see the ratings continue to fall down? So, yeah. That's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this. It's just it's a throwaway edition of AEW. I've seen a lot better, let's put it this way, I've seen a lot better AEW previews than this, so I'm not exactly overly excited for tonight, but I never am. It's AEW, who knows, maybe you go into it with no expectations and might actually surprise you, who knows, we'll find out in the review, guys. Till next time though, peace.